No. Promise.
It's time.
Good day. Good.
Yesterday?
No, the one you're.
No, I went on it. I canceled my river trip.
It's already, well, it's 10 o'clock and I call this meeting to order. Let's stand for a pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Ms. Clerk, can we please have roll call?
Mayor Bachman. Mayor Pro Tem Knudsen.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Valentine.
Here.
Trustee Stelter. Trustee McInnes.
Here.
The here's have it.
Oh, we had a quorum. Cheers. Okay, so we can't continue. Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I motion from one of the here's?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. All right. Up first is consideration for approval of emergency sewer line. Here. All right.
Okay, so on Tuesday, I was informed by our public works director that we had a collapse of a sewer line on Main Street. It was approximately 203 feet of pipe. It looks like an elm tree.
Yeah, I mean,
There's roots in.
I'm sure roots is what the initial cause of it, but it's clay line. So the whole 200 feet didn't collapse.
But in order to make this repair, it made sense to go from manhole to manhole and to add a new manhole. So the one entry point is way too small for any person to try to get into to do any sort of services or repair. So we figured while we've got it open for $10,000 more, we can have a right-sized manhole. And it's going to be plastic pipe. It's not, is it HDPE?
SDR.
SDR.
Yeah.
So it'll be a modern sewer system in that location. We attempted to get 3 quotes. The third quote was a refusal to bid. They missed the deadline and then have they been in contact with you since, Kendall? So Kendall Excavating was our third. They didn't give us a bid. We did get 2 bids, one from K&D Construction. Those are the guys that most recently finished the Doris Avenue sewer project. And then also from Loop, obviously one of our normal contractors. My recommendation today is to go with Root. They did come in lower. We suspect that that's because their mobilization cost is next to nothing. They're right down by Big B's where their yard is, where K&D is coming from Grand Junction. Both of these contractors do very good work. And as you're aware, K&D in our last board meeting actually received praise from residents, which is unheard of in my career that a contractor gets praise. So either one would be good, but the recommendation is to move forward with Roop Excavating. We are asking for an emergency approval of up to $75,000 because we don't know what's underneath the ground in some of those locations. We may have some fill that needs to be replaced. And was it $45 a ton?
Yeah. So
it's $45 a ton. And our estimates say that there could be up to $10,000, $15,000 of fill that's needed if it's found that those soils can't compact well. So rather than have another meeting to approve a change order, this is a not to exceed request.
Anything from the public? Lucy?
Can I ask a question? I know that's not usual. I'm just curious where exactly, because the sewer line in Maine is in the alley. We live on Main.
So the 300 block on Main, there's the whole 205-foot section feeds the senior citizen home.
And everything north of that,
So
South
south of that.
yeah, so
Yeah, the rest feed out the alley. It's just then when there's 5 houses.
the easiest way to explain this is when you're facing Main Street, looking down the road, it's on the left side of the road. So You've got the senior,
Grant from me.
yeah, so you're on Third,
Is that way?
I'm on Third Street, facing Main. Senior Center's here.
Okay.
It's from the manhole in the middle of Third down the left side of the, well, it's out of the roadway.
Uh-huh.
It's in the gravel area in front of people's homes.
Heading north up Third.
It's heading north up Third.
And then it dead ends at the 205 feet.
Into a,
What's currently, there's a lamp hole that
it's a clean.
you can access. It's basically a clean out. That's where we would want to put in a manhole just for better maintenance in the future.
The only comment I have is that we had both we own 337 Main and 339 Main, and we had both our laterals replaced, and Root did that, so he's been in there.
Okay. And so there are 5 service lines that will also be affected by this. That's
So-
part of the,
On that too, Ruben, Steph, I'm sorry. The house right on the corner, I think it's 312.
That corner over there,
Yeah, the one on
opposite senior
the
center.
west corner, yeah.
Yeah.
That one has been tied into Third Street, so it is 4 houses.
4 tenants instead of 5. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
From the board.
Well, I'm noticing when I look at the 2 bids, KMD's bid says they're including materials and Roop's does not.
I asked for clarification about that last night. So they are including materials. So the thing in the terms and conditions where they say no concrete or asphalt cost is added onto this quote is inaccurate. In the description of work, they talk about actually replacing the concrete that's being disturbed. That came from Roop saying that was the intent, that they're going to do finish work. They're not just going to leave gravel in the middle of Third Street. The other item that Roop has agreed to do is part of our now normal process for receiving bids for infrastructure work is that we want a survey so we can have an as-built, and we can put it into our GIS system. And so Roop is going to provide that as well.
That's part of this.
That's part of this bid.
Yes.
Most of the sewer lines are actually in the alleys throughout town. This is kind of an anomaly on Main. And is
Yeah.
Main one of the few streets that has the sewer under it?
It's so to clarify, it's not under the roadway itself.
It's more,
It's often onto what would be considered a shoulder if this were the highway. And so where you see where people are parking their cars in like gravel lots along the side of their homes, that's where this sewer line is. Now, there are services that go across or underneath, but I don't think we're disturbing those. The service lines, they're just gonna tie into a main.
right.
So it's all in town right away,
Correct.
essentially? Okay, thank you.
Else? Board members? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious, kind of listening to the conversation around Candy's work on doors. One of the things that seemed extraordinarily valuable to us is the way that they did record keeping. I'm curious about, I think that the last time we had work done by Roop, it was kind of before my time. So how are they with the information that they give back to us?
This will be my first time working with Roop as well, so
Okay.
I don't know. Do they give work tickets and with their invoices and things like that?
They're just kind of not really. It's not the same. Candy's invoices are, exactly what they did. Everything's broke down quite a bit. I'm sure if we asked, we do that, I'm sure he'd be fine with it. I just don't know that that's been asked of him in the past.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I mention it is it looks like in the budget section that we will be using some DOLA reimbursements for this. And so the better record keeping we have for that, the easier it's gonna be down the line for us to actually be audited and show that. And so, is that record keeping worth a little over 10 grand? I'm not sure, but I think it's definitely something we should consider.
To clarify, Doris Avenue was DOLA, and so using K&D's, what they've given us, we have to do that for a report to get that reimbursement.
Yeah.
And so to offset, what we'll do is when we get that funding in, we'll credit that line item. Instead of trying to receipt it in and then do transfers, you just credit that line item. And so that reduces the amount of liability that's already within our equipment or maintenance and repair line item. So our budget amendment later on isn't as large.
So we won't be using DOLA money specifically for this
Correct.
project. Okay, never mind.
But having invoices that are really easy to understand, very easy to audit, that makes my job a lot easier. So,
Can we require that approved?
I'm sure that's an easy ask.
Right, and yeah, because this has been brought to the board's attention in the past that Root does not do the best invoicing and the most meticulous.
Yeah, I think the big thing in favor of K&D, of course, is the public relations. The public relations we had with them is just amazing. And that could be worth a discussion with Route 2 as far as traffic and how people are treating the residents and notification of residents, those types of things. The one thing about this that's kind of tough is it worth the 12 grand for the extra? I mean, the quality of work at K&D is so high. However, the quality of Route's work is dang good too. So we're in a pretty enviable position that we have two good bidders here. My own opinion is we should just go with the low.
So we have two very good contractors and plenty of work to go around. So I don't think it'll hurt anybody's feelings, so no matter which way. Jesus.
Okay, anything else on the board? Okay, seeing none, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to move that we approve the roof excavating quote on Main Street repair.
Do you have a second?
I think we should just take what's provided to us here, because I think the not to exceed 75,000 is
Right.
important. to get
Oh, okay,
that
I'm
motion.
sorry. Thank you, Paige.
Sorry.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 52,970.44 roof excavating that.
How about just leave that motion right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
So this is
Approve the quote for repairs and roof excavating not to exceed the price of 75,000. It took me a while to get to the.
Right, I know.
Second that motion.
Maybe next time bold it.
Maybe next time we should make it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes. All right, next on the agenda is consideration of approval to allow BLM workers to camp in Apple Valley Park while working on a trail system.
Hey, Lucy, if you want us to show you where it's at, we can meet you out there a little bit.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this was also brought to my attention that BLM, I think it's BLM volunteers are coming to do trail work. Is it a week?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, if I would kind of expand on it a little bit.
Please do.
A trail volunteer group in the Front Range has agreed to do a lot of work on the trails up here, and they're all gonna come over, and they didn't do much coordination with local people. And so it's kind of a last minute thing, like, where are we gonna camp and all this stuff, and they're just gonna be here for Friday and Saturday night. That's why one of the reasons we have an emergency meeting besides is that we have to approve, because administratively, he cannot approve camping. We haven't fixed that yet. So here we are on the item. But they want approval to camp in the backside of Apple Valley Park on the other side of the tennis courts, not where all the restrooms and playgrounds are and all that stuff. And they'll be there 2 nights.
So where trails are they going?
They're gonna do the very beginning entrance trail at the top of Pan American and fix that. It's either a big swoop down or a really lousy bunch of curves trying to avoid the swoop. And so they're gonna be working right there. The second thing they're doing, but they don't need our permission for that, is the BLM is paying for a porta potty to be placed in the gravel where the illegal fence opening is, so that the trail crew can easily access restrooms while they work. And that's the extent of what they're doing. They'll be showing up tonight.
Okay, questions from the board?
Just, will the bathrooms be open in Apple Valley for them to use them as well? While they're camping? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we plan to keep them open as long as we can.
How many volunteers are we expecting?
We don't know. That's part of the function of maybe 20 or 30. I don't know. I hope they do the whole trail system, but I don't think they can get to it.
Not in 2 days, yeah.
So I did leave Tracy McCurdy a message. And the only thing I asked is that when they do place that porta potty, that they make sure that it's not in the HOA's that they make sure it stays on theirs. Because I don't want to get a phone call from Hoxhaven, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave, can you ask them to, if they need extra trash receptacles over there?
I've got Tracy's number.
Okay.
So.
get a motion then?
It's Paige's turn.
Okay, I have to make this one up. I make
Yes,
a
you
motion
do.
to allow camping for the BLM volunteers at Apple Valley Park on Friday,
April.
Friday, October 6th and Saturday, October 7th.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. Okay. If no other business, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect, thank you.